All right, so it looks like I started this a little late because I've got a little monitor over here and it is behind. And so it was looking like, man, my intro wasn't playing yet. So I waited, fearful that when I hit go live that it was going to go backwards and, well, the intro wouldn't be up, but it was there. Hey there, this is Dave Scott Peters, restaurant expert, coach, and creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and I'm here for you for the first STS, Shoot the Shit with DSP, here for 2026. We're going to get started in a second. I want to get the hellos out of the way and what have you, make sure everything is working. It looks like, let's see, we're going to send. It is working. We've got Chef Newsom, that's Kim and Chet here from the Pompous Pig. Awesome to have you. It is longtime listeners, I should say. Matt Plapp's in the house. Let's play. Let the party get started, DSP. And he says, 2026, here we come. No shit, man. This is the beginning. Let's bring the energy. Let's get her going. We've got Blizzoli's Pizza. What up, Blizzoli's? Good morning. Jack from Blizzoli's. Jack, it is awesome to have you. Hope things are going well for you, my friend. Let's see here. Steve Eller's in the house. Good morning. Hope everyone has a great Friday. We have the Mary DeLeon in the house. Good morning to you, Mary. And let's see here. Bruce Landy's in the house. What's going on, Bruce Landy? Good morning to you as well. We're going to get started here in just a second. Just want to make sure people are reminded that you should be logged into your YouTube account or your Google account, synonymously the same thing, so you can participate in the chat, give me comments, so on and so forth. Let's see here. I think we've got everybody so far that has said good morning. And so we will probably get this party started. Let's go. Well, just real quick before I get going here. Okay, never mind. I had him, as Steve said, his video was frozen, but now it works. So we'll get started. I think. Love doing live stuff, don't you? Let me put these down. And here we go. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. STS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming week and get excited about crushing your goals and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm Dave Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula and your coach. And as a reminder, make sure that you have what? You have logged into your Google account so you can participate in the chat. Here we go. Restaurant Pro, let me ask you something real. If your restaurant feels chaotic, if every shift turns into firefighting, if you're constantly putting out fires but never quite getting ahead, this episode is for you. Because the root cause of chaos in independent restaurants is almost never what you think it is. It's not your POS, your vendors, your schedule, or this generation. It's leadership dependency. That's right, leadership dependency. What I see all the time is restaurant pros trying to be the superhero of their restaurant. You jump in to help. You fix problems fast. You answer questions immediately. And it feels productive until it doesn't. Because here's what actually happens. Your managers stop leading. They start delivering messages. Messages like, David, the cook called out. David, the guest is upset. David, what do you want me to do? That's not management. That's a relay race where you're running every leg. And chaos loves that setup. Chaos isn't random. Chaos shows up when one person knows how to decide. Chaos shows up when everyone else waits. Chaos shows up and becomes a problem because problems pile up instead of spreading out. So even though you're working harder, everything feels, well, more fragile. That's not because your team can't handle it. It's because you trained them not to. If your restaurant feels out of control, here's the shift that fixes it. And this is where most restaurant pros miss the mark. You think the problem is who you trained. It's not. The problem is how many people you trained at the same time. Right now, when something goes wrong, you usually do one of three things. One, you handle it yourself. Two, you grab one of your strong managers. Three, you say, I'll explain it later. All three create a single point of failure. And single points of failure are why chaos never leaves. From now on, stop asking who's the right person to train and start asking who else needs to know this so I'm not needed next time. That question is the difference between leadership and dependency. The next time a challenge pops up, and it will, you don't pull one person aside. You grab three people and say, we're handling this together. Then walk them through what happened, what decision needs to be made, what good looks like, where the boundary is if it goes sideways. You're not fixing the problem for them. You're teaching them how to think through it. That's leadership training in real time. Training in groups does three things immediately. One, it removes the bottleneck. Knowledge stops living in only one person's head, especially when it's your head. Two, it forces managers to lead. They stop asking for permission and start making decisions. And three, it builds depth fast. One call off or one bad night doesn't wreck the shift anymore. Chaos fades when leadership spreads. By the way, I learned this from one of my members, Deja Wakefield, who is one of the most successful members in going from doing everything herself to leading. And she's also a member mentor now in our program. She learned this lesson the hard way and has been sharing it on group coaching calls whenever somebody needs to hear it, because it's a game changer. Here's the rules every restaurant pro needs to adopt. If only one person knows how to handle it, you're not done training. That's it. If only one person knows how to handle it, you're not done training. That's it. That's your rule. No more hours, no more systems, no more heroics. Just wider leadership. By Monday, think about this. By Monday, today is Friday, by Monday, when the next challenge shows up, here's the one move I want you to make. Do not train one person. Grab 3 or 4 and train them all. Same problem, same conversation, same expectations. That one shift starts pulling you out of the chaos loop immediately. If your restaurant can't run without you, that's not control, that's capacity. Real control comes from when your team can think, decide, and lead without you being in the middle. Start with how many people you train at once, and that'll put you on the path to gaining control of your restaurant. That concludes my portion of the STS. I'm going to see what you've got here. Let's see here. We've got some Seaquake is in the house. So that, I'm assuming that's Deja Wakefield. I gave you a call out because you are the bomb. You are the shit, as we like to say. We've got Koval in the house. Ben Morgan. What's going on, Ben? We got to get on a call. You know how to log into the member site and get my link to my calendar. Yes? Let's do that. We talked about it on a group coaching call. Good morning to you. Carlos, what's going on? Carlos Z, good morning to you. It is awesome to have you. I hope you are having fun in the RTF group on those group coaching calls as you've made that shift. What kind of questions do you all have for me? This is now your time, and while we're waiting for that, I did put up the QR code for anybody who's not a member and wants to learn about what membership is, so that Ryan James, you can get on a call with him. He is a member who's gone through the program, had incredible success, now helps us help you figure out whether what we have is right for you or not. He'll learn about your challenges, what your goals are, and you guys can decide whether you want to learn more about what we do or not. So I highly recommend that you scan that QR code and get on a quick discovery call with Ryan. In the meantime, let's see. It's time for your questions. Looks like Ian McCall's in the house. Buenos dias. Buenos dias to you as well. That is about the extent of my Spanish anymore. I used to have kitchen Spanglish, but that has left me. It has been way too long. What kind of questions do you guys have? I'm double checking YouTube here. I've got nothing. Now I know there's a delay, about 15, 20-second delay. So often I have to stretch with words to give you a chance to type, give you a chance to hit send, give it a chance to hit me because you're behind me. That's just kind of how this works. Now, one of my team is saying things. Let's see while that is happening here. What is it? Okay, looks like Ben, my team is saying you don't have access to my calendar. You have access to David's. So Mary's going to send you a link to my calendar. At least that's what I'm reading on the Slack that is on my phone. So Ben, we got you covered. We'll get you there. I don't know, Mary. I think of these things. There's so many details that I've got to maintain in my head. Do we have no questions? Nothing for today? How are we doing on time? We're doing great on time. Does anybody have a lesson, something that you want to learn? Let's see here. I've got George Anderson. What's going on, George Anderson? He says, I'm still a Luddite. No, you're not, man. You're a pro. You are a pro. Here we go. We've got Ben says, thank you, DSP and Mary. We've got nothing. This could be the shortest first shoot the shit with DSP we've had. Like, I've got time for you all. Does anybody have a question? Something you want to learn? Something going on in your business? Anything you want to learn about membership? Or do you want to get started on your January 2026 that you are ready to get out there and you've had enough DSP for the day? All right, we've got several people have now chimed in. I've got the Newsomes say thanks for this. That's probably our number one problem. It's not just you. I've been doing this a long, long time. That is one of the core features of what we help people get out of in our coaching program, because it starts with you as a leader. Matt Platt says, question, every year around this time, I see business owners making decisions based on their gut and not data. They don't reach out to vendors to have conversations. Yeah, Matt, you and I, we have the same customers, a lot of the same customers. My members, you customers. We're at the beginning of the year. We're in a downturn on an economy. People are feeling the pinch. Sales are down. I would tell you that I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they're down about 10%. This reminds me of the Great Recession, where 10% down was the new up. And I've got members who are killing it. Do not get me wrong. I got people just who are crushing it. But I've got people who are down, and some even significantly, even more than 10%. How much of that is them and their operation? How much of it is a big market versus small market? Anecdotally, I can't give you good data, but I can tell you that they're struggling. So people are talking, we talk about in our group coaching calls, food costs and things like that. And it is very easy for people to want to blame their vendors. Oh my God, food prices are out of control, but they don't have recipe costing cards. They don't know what their ideal food cost is. They don't have par levels. They don't have budgets to purchase from. They don't have software to make sure they can see ideal versus actual product usage, where the mistakes are happening. They don't do all these things, the numbers that help us make decisions. Instead, their gut says, oh, let me cut back on marketing. Let me buy shittier product. Let me go down to Costco and buy food instead of getting it from my vendor because I think I can save money. And when you don't. You just cut yourself out of business. We start cutting. We've always got to look to increase sales, and we've always got to look to become more efficient, but we need numbers to make those decisions. So I agree with you, Matt, very much so. Steve Eller says, who has a budget for 2026? That's the question. And do know that Steve is our budget pro on our team and asks that questions on group coaching calls on a weekly basis. Because we want our members to have their budgets. It's probably the number one thing, the most powerful thing we do with them. Your budgets goes, this leads to what Matt was talking about. Mother's Cantina, gonna guess that is my good friend, Ryan James in the house. Best tip for cross-training a KM to learn front of house duties. So what Ryan's asking about is it really depends on the concept. Not every concept can have a manager flip from front of house and back house. Many chain restaurants don't have back house dedicated managers. They have kitchen managers who are front of house people who run the ordering, the inventory, the recipe cards, they do the schedules, they do all the back house stuff, and in a bind they have to jump on the line and do. That's their area of responsibility, but they are front of house managers. What Ryan's saying is, wait a second, what about a back house manager learning the front of house? Because quite honestly, you may have a talented kitchen manager that someday could become a GM. You could have a slow season where, quite honestly, you're going to cut back on your managers and training, your MITs, supervisors, and you want to use your salaried management team, of which one of them is your kitchen manager. How do we go about cross-training? I think it's the easiest thing is to start to pull them in and put them through your MIT or supervisor training. Teach them how to become key turners, how to open the restaurant, follow the manager checklist, what the expectations are. And on the other side is make sure they have a clean chef coat or apron. And get them to walk the floor every now and then, touch tables. What did you think of our barbecue burger? What did you think about that guacamole? Isn't that amazing? We make it fresh here every day. And start to engage. So I think it's a matter of putting them through what you would put a new supervisor, the training you'd put them through, and more importantly, get them on the floor. Matt Plapp says, how do you coach restaurants to have conversations? Are we talking about conversations? Matt, I need you to clarify. Conversations with employees because we're having an issue, or conversations with our guests so we can learn what they like, they dislike? What conversations are we talking about? Give me a little clarity on that. George Anderson says, hello, love you, bro. All of us have been coached, so we are so happy. Thanks, my friend. Appreciate you. Appreciate you very much. Carlos says, how do you think an owner/operator can discover and share their core values, particularly if they have never shared them before and have had the same employees for a long time? Carlos, I need you to go into the member site and I need you to find the core value lesson. And if you don't know how to find it real quick, type in the search core values while you're in the library, or reach out to Mary. I have a lesson step by step on how to document, create and document your core values. And especially when you have partners, and how we can get those shared core values. So I've got that for you. I've got a whole thing with a list of words, getting it down to just a few words, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, wherever you want to be, and the process to get it done. So it's way too much for me to share here because it is a full-fledged lesson with handouts, with homework, with it all. So make sure you go into the member site because you are a member and I can help you with that. And then if you need help, we can get together. Let's see here. Boss Dragos, I believe I need to read a personality. If someone has the inclination to be a good communicator in order to trust him to teach others. I think you got to learn, I don't know that it's as important to be a good communicator because I can teach people how to teach. Now, there are some that are better than others. Like I consider myself at the top of the game of teaching restaurant systems. Like if you've ever been to one of my seminars, my live seminars, speeches, or what have you, I can tell you that I'm going to kick everybody else's ass. Why? I have a talent for presenting the most boring information, more real world, entertaining, and exciting than anybody else. That's a talent. However, There are plenty of great people who are not great presenters, but can train others. And what I would do is I tell you, you've got to follow the golden rule of training that I learned at Disney University in Orlando, Florida, when I was a bar manager. Went there with my mom, and she was in the restaurant business my whole life. And we went together. And we've all learned the show, tell, do, review, but this is PPETF. P, prepare yourself. If you want to learn something, if you want to teach something, you have to learn it. So prepare yourself on the topic. I'll get that out of my mouth. The second P is prepare the learner. What's in it for them? Anytime I present this is, why do you want to listen to me? This will make you more money. It'll give you time off. It'll make your job easier, whatever it may be. That's the PP, prepare yourself, prepare the learner. E is explain it. What's the task we're about to learn? Right? That's PPE. T, try it out. Now you let them do it. The F means two things. PPETF. First is feedback. When you see them doing it wrong, correct them until they do it right. Correct them until they do it right. As they do it right, give them the positive feedback. Then after you've trained them and certified them, later on down the line, you see them doing something wrong, we follow up. We ensure that they're doing it. If you train anybody to follow that structure, anyone can train. It just doesn't mean that everybody's got jazz hands and can keep someone's attention. But if they're genuinely good at what they do, if they generally care about the outcome of the person they're training, and they're authentically themselves, it can work. So that would be my answer if I understand the question. Brandon's in the house. What's up, Brandon? Hey, everyone. What do you recommend for social media marketing when there never seems to be enough time to do it yourself? We hired a firm to post for us, and in the meantime, but it's so generic. Yeah. So I think you can have certain bits of social media done for you. I think that social media is powerful when using advertising to bring people in, and that's America's Best Restaurants. That's Matt Plapp and his group. Now they've got another wing that can help coach you through what you want to get done for social media, but it really comes down to storytelling. And when you say you don't have enough time, well, there's a couple of shortcuts. One is everybody on your team has a damn cell phone. Number one, create 3 ambassadors. We want to get the cell phones out of their hands, but it's not going to happen. So 3 Instagram ambassadors, and their job on the shift is to take pictures. Their job on the shift is to take pictures, and whether you give them permission to post or post and you approve, they're gathering content for you, and you can post later. So now you're getting real content in your store from 3 people every single day. Another is to find 1 or 2 people on your team who want to take over. I've got a member, Chris Schoenberger, who has 2 of his team members they're in charge of TikTok and posting videos. And they've had several videos go viral and creating fun and atmosphere because they're of the age that it makes sense to them and they can get it done. You've got to be in control of your message. You've got to approve what goes up, but you don't have to be one to do everything. So yes, we can have a firm do basics for us. We can definitely have a firm like America's Best Restaurants help us use social media to increase our reach and pull people into our restaurants and get them to come back more often. But I think we've got talents on the floor that we can make ambassadors, whether by the shift or actually give them use of the channel with your approval. And that's how we got to do. We got to delegate. Hopefully that helps. Hope that helps you and other people. Matt says, how do you teach restaurants to have conversations with vendors to be open, honest, and to be trusted, to have collaborative relationships versus being closed off? I don't know that I teach it, Matt, except for I talk about it. Is there a difference? Yeah, I don't have a 1, 2, 3 system, but I do tell people you can't bury your head in the sand. So let's say I have a chef owner who owes a broadline distributor a bunch of money. Sales are down. they're pinching pennies, they're back in the kitchen hiding, rocking an onion, feeling comfortable, dicing onions. Oh, I just feel good here. And the vendor calls up and somebody goes, hey, Broadline Distributors on the phone, wants to talk to you. Tell them I'm busy. We hide. And the truth of the matter is, most every one of your vendors, if you're open and honest with them, will work with you. Hey, vendor, I'm in the shit right now. By the way, if you're in the shit storm, they've got dozens of restaurants in the shit storm, and they're feeling the pain too. They want to help you survive because they need to sell cases. They need to keep cash flow coming in too. And they might start working with you on, hey, we can put you on 30-day terms, 60-day terms. In the meantime, let's create a payment plan. You can catch up on the other back invoices. Hey, we can help you, bring in items that can increase your sales. Maybe it's with you, Matt, with marketing. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling. I need to pull back. And instead you get the phone call, I cancel. With no explanation. Instead, why not call up and go, hey, I'm struggling. How powerful is that? Because I know you. I know you have worked with several of my members who have gone through cash flow issues. And I'm going to say this in public, so I'm sorry if this fucks you up, dude. You've allowed them to stay in the program because you knew, because that's why you and I are friends, because we're cut from the same freaking cloth. You let them stay because you knew it would make a difference. Communication with your vendors. You've got to look at your vendors as a part of your team, not as enemies, but as partners. So I don't know that I have a system to teach it. I just talk about it. It's a problem out there. George Anderson says, what determines a front of house manager? Some great kitchen folks will not be successful for the face of the business. So that's a great piggyback question to what Ryan brought up. Like, how do I cross-train a back house to be front of house? You've got to make sure people meet the job description, right? So here's the key. I got a job description for front of house managers. I got a job description for back of house. So the job description, the front of house managers may be that you must be comfortable and able to talk to customers. You must be able to ... Like, what are the criteria you have for your front of house managers? And if that back house manager has those skill sets and meet those criteria, they're good. What those criteria are going to be different for each and every one of you as restaurants. The basics are great customer service skills, the ability to communicate, must present well, must have whatever your clothing restrictions or criteria are. And that now goes back to, does my human resources, my hat on, does my employee manual have what's acceptable hair length, what's acceptable clothing for front of house, back of house, for employees, managers, so on and so forth. So we define those things. But what George does bring up is there are some back of house people that will never be front of house people. They don't want to talk to people. They're terrible. They might be curt with people. They may be great at grilling a steak. They might be great at, driving hard people who can hear the message, but may not have the soft skills for customer service out front. Now, let me balance that. If you've got somebody like that, they're probably creating some challenges in your kitchen. Because quite honestly, we have external customers, that's the ones we're talking about, and we have internal customers, that's our employees, that's our team members. And so they got to be able to communicate with them too, so there shouldn't be that much of a difference. It's kind of a half answer, isn't it, George? Carlos says, you make the days longer, but you sure as hell can make them better. Thanks, DSP. You're welcome, Carlos. Yeah, I suck. I create work. This is not new, buddy. Koval, Ben says, launch the storytelling videos this week. I still have to watch them. I got your email. And over 8,000 views so far on Facebook. TikTok launches today. Great start. We left your seminar knowing we had to do better. That is fantastic. I'll see if Matt weighed in on that. That sounds phenomenal, like incredible results. Bruce says, hi, David. I have a question. We had to move our office from our ministry center, because he's in a church, to the inner center church. They have a Riverside Cafe that's Airmark, which is a big provider, in running it for now. The owner is on the 19th floor. Bruce goes on to say, building has been talking to the pastor for our our CEO about using the cafe, and what we make we keep. What is the best way to how to run it? Plus, putting our menus together and pulling out the menu and get our food cheaper from Sysco. They have breakfast and lunch. They make sandwiches plus hot small buffet, small salad bar by the pound. Thanks very much. So Bruce, I got your email. It's right there with Ben's that I need to read. This is my day to catch up on emails. I'm going to be dead straight with you, my friend. This is a much bigger question. What would I tell you? If you were a member, we'd have to create a budget first. I need to hear the terms of what this agreement is about. I need to know how many people are in the building and when they're in the building. I need to know if they're charging your rent or you're getting it scot-free, and how we're going to make our money, how they make their money. Because quite honestly, many restaurants and office buildings are losers. They are so hard to run, often not a place to make money. And so using the cafe, does that mean using the church cafe to produce and bring over? There's too many details, my friend. I would love to be able to answer this question for you. And so now I'm probably not going to reply to the email, and I still may. This is much bigger. I need a budget. I need more details. The devil's in the details. You asked another question is, how do I get cheaper food from Sysco? Well, you either get into with a GPO, group purchasing organization, which is, I think every restaurant will be in the next decade. Everyone will be a part of that. That gets you the ability to buy products that other restaurants buy at a cheaper price, rebates and so on. But you also need to get a distribution agreement. And odds are, if your sales are not higher than $500,000 in this place, they're not at least $850,000 to $1 million a year in sales, the broadline distributors are probably not going to play. So it's a tough question, Bruce, and I don't want to bullshit you here on live and tell you I've got the greatest answer in the world. I don't. I need way more detail, and that's a coaching call. That's multiple coaching calls, budgets, gathering data. So I apologize, I don't got that for you. George agrees with me that it was a tough answer, but that other people learn from it. How are we doing on time? Well, there you go. We went from nobody asking questions to rapid fire. Thank goodness. You guys saved me. You saved my life. Know that I appreciate each and every one of you. Let me just double check. I think we are good. I don't think I travel for a while. Well, I'm actually traveling tomorrow, but there is a Shoot the Shit next Friday here live on YouTube. So as you have questions, as you have things that come up, before we get going here, Ben, the Newsomes are asking if you'd share your videos. So if you want to drop in your social media challenge on the chat here, that'd be great. With that said, let me go backwards. We have a Shoot the Shit next week. I have a schedule that is I created for this full year. That's brand new for me. So I'm not guessing week to week. So you will start to produce emails that will tell you what the topic is going to be about, that you may want to show up and say, that's specifically what I want to learn. So we're trying to get better here. In the meantime, know that I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm glad you're a part of my community, our community. Let's make it better. Let's make 2026 rock. Go out there, kick some ass, everybody. Peace.